Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back on the YouTube channel here for the Jab Effect. Make sure y'all subscribe here to the Jab Effect YouTube channel, as well as my Combo Breaker 99 YouTube channel, where we women's MMA and boxing over there. And just take a look at this thumbnail here. That'll show you where to subscribe to the Just Absolutely Boxing podcast. All these platforms here is where you can subscribe to it, so make sure y'all support the channel. Today I'm back with a little prediction breakdown video for Shawn versus Yordenis Ugas. This fight actually intrigues me, man. This is one of the welterweight fights that intrigue me because out of all the welterweight fights that are taking place in the next couple of months between Spence Garcia, Amir Khan, and Terrence Crawford, Porter and Yordenis Ugas, I feel like this is the one fight that could be an upset. And I feel like Porter definitely has his hands full in this one because he's actually dealing with a taller, more bigger natural welterweight in this fight. One that has a lot of skill, one that's fresh, and been at this weight longer than a guy like Mikey Garcia. So I feel like, Porter definitely has his hands full more so than these guys do because, like I said, he's dealing with a natural welterweight here. So when you look at it, man, style-wise, he could definitely be, Ugas could definitely be pulling off an upset in this fight, man. So let's just take a look at the fighters here as far as the stats, because what I want to do is break these guys down in a different way. Going down the list, man, I just want to touch on the jab, the power, the strength, the skill. When I talk about skill, I'm talking about offense and defense, and then just overall experience of all these guys. I'm going to put little checks by each of these guys on which category I give the edge to each guy at. So let's start with the jab, man. With the jab, I'd have to give the edge to Ugas. I think the jab is more of a key setting up for him to setting up his right hand. It helps him build a lead on his opponents. I feel like he's more of a boxer. He's definitely more of a boxer in this one with the longer frame. So the jab is something he's going to have to utilize more so, and something he utilized in the past just to set up his right hand. He definitely uses it to keep good distance, fight at a mid-range. Utilizes it well, like I said, to set up his counter. Whereas somebody like Porter, he's not really a guy that we know that jabs. He's a dominating fighter, but whenever guys go in, they're not like, oh man, you can't tell. You could tell that they're not anticipating the jab. They're anticipating more of the pressure. The jab isn't really been something that sets up his power shots. It's his relentless pressure that does that. So when you look at a guy like Porter, he's setting up the power shots with the relentless pressure, just trying to muscle guys and tie them up. Every now and then he'll kind of use it as a range finder, as an offensive weapon. Like even in the Danny Garcia fight. That was the first time I seen him in a while where he was setting it up he was using it to set up the overhand right. But overall, I think that Ugas, he has the jab that's going to be vital in this fight against a guy who keeps bringing that relentless pressure. He's going to have to be the one, sticking it out there like a telephone pole. So definitely got to give him that jab edge off of what I seen. Okay, looking at the power, I have to say I have to give that to Shawn Porter, even though I feel like at times Shawn Porter, he can nullify his own power by smothering the shots. I think that his power is enough to keep a lot of the top level guys honest. We've seen that mostly because he's throwing like an accumulation of thudding shots. It could be harder if he would set him up a little bit more, sit down on his punches instead of kind of running straight in. But once you look at his KO percentage, 58 to 59, that kind of shows you that guys will either withstand this pressure or they'll crumble. Fighters like Thurman, Broner, and Danny Garcia, they taken his best shots, but they never went down. But guys like Paulie and Andre Berto, they were overwhelmed by the accumulation of shots because they couldn't take them. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing here. If he set down on his shots, I think he would knock more people out. But the way he's coming with those thudding shots, people can kind of tie him up or they can kind of roll with him. And even if they do take him, they get marked up. But looking at a guy like Ugas, again, he's been more of a boxer, traditional boxer. So if you look at his KO ratio, he's 47%. And for the most part, most of his shots, they're kind of thrown with the same intensity. I'm not saying he's a feather-fisted guy, but he's a guy that throws with just enough pop to keep you back. And he kind of fires in bunches, but never really turns into that one-hitter quitter. So once you look at it, most of his are set up by counters. Most of his stoppages are set up by counters. He set up guys like Ray Robinson or Bryant Perella. So, he's setting up that right hand to really counter them and just kind of put them on Queer Street, but he's never really went in for the hard knockout. So when I look at it, I have to say that Ugas, he has the less power, of course, but, you got to look at Porter here. He's just bringing that relentless pressure, so I have to give him the edge and power off of what he's done with former world champions. All right, when we look at strength, strength, I'm talking about the physical strength of guys, the endurance, boxers' ability to kind of push and move guys, not just with power, but with their physical strength. You know, talking about their good balance and foundation, you know, guys not being able to be moved, you know, being able to keep their balance and stand their ground. So strength, I have to give that edge to Porter. I mean, not even the edge, I give it all to him. You know, we know why, because Porter's style is a very physical-based style. You know, former football player, and he basically hasn't abandoned that tackle. You know, he's still coming in straight bull rushing you. So to be able to do that, you got to possess you got to possess a lot of strength. You know, he's not necessarily a brawler. He's more of a mauler that can kind of smother guys, frustrate him and hit him, chase him down and repeat. And for a guy that can do this for 12 rounds, whether he wins or loses, that shows you he has that freakish stamina and endurance. So definitely got to give him the strength category. Skill, you know, this is going to be a kind of a tough one to call as far as what their skill has done for them, because when I look at skill, like for Shawn Porter, he's not really, like I said, your basic boxer. Doesn't really possess that technical skill. You know, he doesn't really use it in fights, you know. And when I break it down by offense and defense, it'd be kind of hard not to give Porter the edge or give Porter the offense category, because, you know, what he's done has taken him to that championship level, and it has won him 2 world titles. So I have to give the offensive skill to Shawn Porter, just for the fact that he's been able to utilize his style well. You know, the bullying style, the mauling, the overhand rights he can set up by pushing you forward and just building up a lead and kind of walking his opponents down and cutting them off. You know, he's been able to kind of build that skill and, like I said, take it to a world-class level. So I give him the offensive skill, but once you start to break him down, like technically, as far as his defense, he doesn't really have that good defense. You know, I mean, offense, you know, a really good offense can be really good defense, like they say. But as far as like when you break his defense down, you know, he's coming straight in, chin out sometimes, and then he's just throwing wild winging shots at times when he comes straight in with his head. So whenever you're dealing with like a more patient, calm boxer, they can counter. You know, looking at guys like Keith Thurman, they were able to counter him with right hands, left hooks. The last round with Adrian Broner, he was able to counter him with a good left hook. So when you imagine somebody like a real calm boxer that he comes across, they'll be able to knock him out or counter him really good. You know, somebody like Adrian Broner was only to do it in 1 round, but if you're dealing with more of a solid boxer, you know, they could take him apart and see all those holes in his defense. But again, he's been able to balance that out well with his offense. Whereas you look at a guy like Ugas, he has kind of a good mixture of both with his offense and his defense. I give him that defense category because, you know, he keeps the good mid-range. He knows how to fight at a range, keeps a good high guard, and then he's able to pop the jab out of the high guard and use that jab to set up the overhand right. So he kind of has a good mixture of his offense and defense put together, just as a technically sound boxer. So I do give the offense category to Shawn Porter, but I also give the offense and defense to Ugas off of what he's shown. Overall experience, got to go to Shawn Porter for this one, man. Shawn Porter definitely has overall experience. Win or loss, he has one of the best resumes at 147 today. His last 5 fights speak for itself. You know, he's 4-1. That 1 loss came to Keith Thurman, and before that, back in 2014, you know, he's lost to Kell Brooks. So he's fought the best so far, and you know, I think he learns from those losses. So when you look, whether you like it or not, his style's got him to that world-class level, and only the top skilled boxers were able to beat him. And even when they did beat him, they came out looking like Thurman, you know. And Kell Brook, he actually got a majority decision, so these guys actually had their hands full with him. So just going back to his style, man. I mean, you either hate it or love it, but it got him where he needed to be. Ugas, of course, you know, he's no green guy. You know, he's been facing the elite guys, so he hasn't really faced any elite guys yet. This is his first time, but you know, he's been able to break out of that C-level tier and come out on top over guys like Jamal James, Bryant Perella's, the Ray Robinson. So you know, he's graduated from that level to show that he's done with these guys. You know, he wants to prove that he's amongst the elite. So once you think about it, Ugas, he has a lot going for him in this fight. But as far as experience, we're talking about a guy who's been there before, and that's Shawn Porter. You know, Porter's been the higher level. You know, he's taken that walk before. You know, he's been in that dressing room waiting, you know, getting his hands wrapped, you know, all of those pressures before you get into the ring. You know, that's the big part, how you deal with it. So when you think about it, he's already taken that walk before. So all of that you got to give to Shawn Porter, because that's just going to be the easy part for him. Whereas Ugas, we don't know how he's going to react to that. Shawn Porter already has that experience. So got to give the experience to Shawn Porter. All right, man. So after breaking all that down, my pick. Damn, this is tough, man. I know in the Jab podcast, as a quick prediction last night, I said I would have to go with Shawn Porter by a close decision. The more and more I think about it, man, this is a 50-50 fight, man. But if I had to pick, I would have to pick Shawn Porter by a close decision just by the math. And we always know that the boxing math is unpredictable. You know what I mean? It always depends on if the guy shows up, if the guy's able to, utilize his style, if the guy's able to get into his rhythm, So I really wouldn't be surprised if Ugas was able to outbox Porter at this, at this point in their careers. Because, Shawn Porter, like I said, he's been there before, but is he hungry enough to keep it? Does he really want to stay at this level? Does he want to go back to that level with the Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia? Keith Thurman and Errol Spence. Does he want to go back to that level? Whereas Ugas could be like, hey, man, I want this belt. This is it. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to use everything I got to win this fight. So there's all those mental factors in there, the mental factors that you can't really put in the math. But when you talk about a guy like Ugas, like I said, he could utilize his skills so well that, Shawn Porter, he's probably never even faced a guy with this style before. If you break it down, whatever he brings, it might be something new to Shawn Porter where he can't get into a rhythm. Shawn Porter might actually be facing a guy that's going to stand his ground in this fight and kind of nullify, his pressure attack. So that could be something that could happen, or, he could crumble to the pressure against Shawn Porter. We never know. But just going by off the experience and what Shawn Porter's done in the past with his guys, I was giving the edge to Shawn Porter. But like I said, don't be surprised if Ugas is able to outbox Shawn Porter. If he does it over 12 rounds and he uses his IQ, again, don't be surprised, man. But I'm going to have to go with Shawn Porter by a close decision, just going by what I was going through down the list, the experience, the strength. Just got to go by all that, all the guys he's faced in the past. But yeah, Shawn Porter by close decision. Yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about the fight, though, in the comments section. Let me know if you think Shawn Porter's going to win or Yordenis Ugas is going to win. But overall, I think it's going to be a good fight. Like I said, it's more of a solid welterweight fight than the Spence Garcia and the Bud and the Khan fight. To me, it is. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. Just let me know, like I said, in the comments section, who you think is going to win this fight. Are you excited for this fight or no? Just subscribe here. Make sure you subscribe to the Combo Breaker 99 YouTube channel as well. And just look at the thumbnail here. You can subscribe to the Jab podcast on all these platforms here. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Peace.